Have you ever left a party or a hangout and felt strangely empty, even though everything went perfectly? That feeling isn't weird. It's called the emotional hangover after socializing. A quiet story. Imagine this. You meet friends for dinner. The conversation flows. You laugh. You contribute. You show up. On the outside, it looks like connection. But the next day, you feel strangely drained. You don't want to text anyone back. You feel a subtle urge to withdraw. Not because you dislike people, but because you feel used up. You might tell yourself, maybe I'm just antisocial. Maybe something is wrong with me. Why can't I enjoy connection like everyone else? But this feeling isn't a flaw. It's information. What this feeling actually is, an emotional hangover, isn't about being introverted or extroverted. It's about emotional output exceeding emotional return. During social interaction, you're constantly doing small, invisible work, monitoring reactions, choosing words carefully, adjusting your tone, reading the room, managing how you're perceived. Each of this happens automatically. But automatic doesn't mean free. Every adjustment costs energy. If you're someone who tries to keep conversations smooth, avoids tension, wants others to feel comfortable, is sensitive to shifts in mood, then socializing becomes emotional labor, even when it's pleasant. So when it ends, your system doesn't feel fulfilled. It feels depleted. Why the hangover comes later. During social time, adrenaline is often present. Adrenaline keeps you engaged. It sharpens focus. It masks exhaustion. But once you're alone and the stimulation drops, your nervous system catches up. That's when the fatigue appears, not as sleepiness, but as emotional flatness, low motivation, mild sadness, a desire to disappear for a while. This delay makes the feeling confusing. You associate it with nothing because the event itself felt fine, but your body remembers the cost. The role of self-monitoring. One of the biggest contributors to emotional hangovers is self-monitoring. This is the habit of watching yourself while you interact. You're not just talking. You're also noticing how you sound, checking if you're interesting, adjusting to avoid being awkward, making sure you don't take up too much space. Self-monitoring is common in people who grew up needing to be aware of others' moods. It's not a weakness, it's a learned skill. But the downside is that connection stops being fully present. You're performing and participating at the same time, and that splits your energy. Why even good interactions can drain you. You don't need conflict to feel exhausted. Even warm, friendly interactions can drain you. If you suppress parts of yourself, you don't express disagreement. You keep things light when you feel heavy. You prioritize harmony over honesty. This creates a subtle mismatch. Your body shows up, but your inner world stays partially hidden. And when you repeatedly do that, your system learns. Connection costs me something. So afterward, you pull away, not because you don't care, but because you're protecting yourself. The loneliness paradox. Here's the paradox many people feel. You crave connection, but connection makes you tired. So you isolate. Then you feel lonely. This cycle isn't about social skill. It's about emotional safety. Your nervous system is asking a quiet question. Can I be here without managing myself? If the answer feels like no, even unconsciously, exhaustion follows. Why rest doesn't always fix it. You might try to recover by sleeping more, being alone longer, distracting yourself. Sometimes that helps, but often the flatness lingers. That's because the hangover isn't from lack of rest. It's from lack of emotional completion. Something went out, but nothing came back in. True recovery comes from being seen, being unfiltered, being emotionally met, not just from being alone. This isn't about changing your personality. It's about small shifts. First, name the feeling. When you recognize it as an emotional hangover, it stops feeling like a personal failure. Second, notice where you overextend. Ask yourself, where did I hold back? Where did I smooth things over? Where did I silence myself? Not to judge, just to notice. Third, create one space where you don't perform. One person, one relationship, one place where you don't manage the room. Even brief moments of that kind of connection can refill what socializing drains. If you feel this often, it doesn't mean you're bad at people. It means you're emotionally attentive. You notice, you care, you adjust. Those are strengths, but they need balance. Connection isn't meant to be a constant output. It's meant to be an exchange, and when it becomes one-sided, even subtly, your system asks for space. That's not weakness, that's wisdom. So the next time you feel that quiet heaviness after being around people, don't rush to label yourself. Pause. Listen to what your body is saying. It might simply be asking for a different kind of connection, one where you don't have to earn your place, where you can arrive as you are and leave feeling more whole than when you came. And that kind of connection exists. Sometimes it just starts with understanding yourself a little more clearly.